Okay.
All right, we on. All right, the topic of the day is Jesse Jackson. The good, is he doing good or has he done bad? Has he sold the peoples out or is he really truly for the struggle? So my position is that Jesse is a sellout. And I say he's a sellout because if you look at it, like I said earlier, Jesse Jackson, when he came to Chicago and started Operation Breadbasket, he had left South Carolina, came to Chicago. He had a dusty afro, a dashiki, some faded jeans, and some shoes with some holes in the bottom of it. He made it to Chicago. And he fleeced the peoples into believing that he was all about bettering the community and bettering us as a people. And when Jesse Jackson left Chicago, Jesse Jackson was living in a big old mansion, wearing a money suits, riding in limousines, had millions of dollars, and the peoples was worse off in the community than when he came. And I'm speaking from experience because my mama used to be a member of Operation Breadbasket, and I used to play down in the meeting in the basement. They used to have meetings in at the church with Jesse Jr. So I'm speaking from a position of knowing. And Jesse left, my mama and my dad, even though my daddy was one of the ones who was saying Jesse ain't nothing, my mama was still an avid follower of Jesse Jackson. And when Jesse Jackson left the community, he was in the same position when he got there. That's my position on Jesse. Jesse ain't nothing. He's like a Emerald chasing lawyer. The only thing he doing, he's chasing the camera for the next big case. Now, anybody got something different to say about that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely got a lot to say about that. I believe Jesse did with a whole bunch of people, especially leaders, just trying to help not only black people, but the people in community has done. I don't think nobody in the history of doing for community, doing for race and all that, is like what Jesse has done. He was the ground, from the ground. What I'm saying is that he related to the common person on the ground, from the lowest person on the ground to the highest person ever. He related to that person. So I think he did a lot of good. Now, a lot of personal things that has happened with him and other individuals, I don't know nothing about. But his stance on community, his political stance, things that he was trying to do for the community, I give him props for that.
Do we like, because he does things in the community, as you say, do he get excused for maybe his personal things, as you put it, he had with other
Mute
people?
your microphone, D-Mac.
I want him to answer that right there.
Okay.
Quick, though.
Okay. When one of us speaking, the other two mute the microphone so that way we ain't interrupted each other.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
I don't think you get a pass or whatever. Personal stuff shouldn't interfere with the things that you do unless it's detrimental to the cause that you're doing. So with him and whoever been through, that shouldn't have nothing to do with his organization or the things he's trying to do for the community or whatever. Because me as a person in the community, I should not know anything about his personal business with another individual anyway. It's all about the community, how he helping, how he's educating, and them things there that I'm really concerned about. So, who he was into it with or have disagreements with, I don't. That's not my business. What are you doing for me and my family and the community? That's what I'm about.
Hey, so obviously we all come out the same communities and everything, but I tell you, man, me growing up and me being a little bit younger than both of y'all, I have the advantage to say, growing up, I used to always hear Jesse had something to do with Martin Luther King. Now, whether that was true or not, whether it was ever proved or not, is another thing. But that was always something that was sort of spoke about behind closed doors or amongst our people. You understand what I'm saying? I got a discrepancy with Jesse in the signs of I've had the advantage of sitting with the Chippewas and Bims and all them and getting their angle, or even Jenny Boy for that matter, who would tell you a story of Jesse Jackson and Bobby Rush being on the front seat of the courtroom telling them, convict that nigga, he ain't one of us. And all the time to find out 46 years later, this brother ain't had nothing to do with the case that even Jesse and Bobby was saying that he did. Brother was set up, wrongfully convicted. I would hear about the story about Mickey Caldwell even, and the misconception of our brother Abdullah Malik Kaba, aka Jeff Fort, having something to do with his stuff. But it comes out in the days of Operation Bread Basket and the early days of forming that this brother Jesse wanted that church over there in the Woodline area that Mickey Caldwell had possessed and wouldn't come off of for nothing. They said Jesse tried everything to get that church out of Mickey Caldwell. Next thing we know, Mickey Caldwell did, and Jesse got the church. Hello, Operation Bread Basket. That coupled with, I'm just learning accounts about him being a CI, a confidential informant, just as well as Al Sharpton. When I take that into account and I look at the research that I done through the years of Jesse being a part of the Trilateral Commission and a part of the Black Boule, I'm thinking, how could this man be in our best interest? I don't care how I look on the outside. I'm like, how can he really serve my best interest if he's a part of all these other things? You understand? He's been a part of a lot of brothers that's in the federal joint. His own brother is in the federal joint, still in the feds. You understand what I'm saying? And there's some stuff behind that as well, right? Now I know that I threw out some things that I can't prove myself per se, but the teachers that I come from up under, they come from them days. They was with Jesse and them. They don't look at Jesse the way we look at Jesse. A lot of us look at Jesse and get starstruck. They look at Jesse, man, that's Jesse, and when same Jesse that was here trying to do this other crap. You know what I mean? One more thing before I turn it over. I remember watching this video where they had all these leaders at the table, and Jesse Jackson and Farrakhan was two of them. And the question that arose was, where do you think we're at as a nation of Black people here in America, our community per se? And Jesse's answer was, we're winning. We're winning. And he began to point out the civil rights victim of right to vote with Martin Luther King and everything. He began to point out all these little different things that they have done for Black people over the years. And then when Farrakhan had the chance to speak, he, in a sense, did the devil advocate thing and pointed out all the destruction. It was more destruction, and we had lost more versus what we had gained. And basically the question became, was it worth it? So yeah, go ahead. That's why I'm at with it.
Okay, mute your microphone. Okay, this is now to support what both of y'all say, but at the same time, give you the facts that you need, what book you need to read. Read The Rise and Fall and Redemption of the Black Peace Stone Nation. That book there talks about how Jesse Jackson, how Chief Malik and Mickey Caldwell told Jesse Jackson, man, that you and Reverend Brazier, who's in the 33 pages, which is our literature, who's in there, and they told Jesse Jackson, he told Jesse Jackson your microphone muted, so I can't hear you. They told Jesse Jackson, listen, you taking all this money out of the community, you and Bishop Brazier, Reverend Brazier, man, you got to get some money back. You got to give back to the community. What Jesse did, Jesse left the South Side and went and hid out in Maywood and told the FBI on Mickey Caldwell and Jeff Ford. He reported them to the FBI that they were shaking them down, you know what I'm saying? So these are known facts about that church. Read their book, The Rise and Falls and Redemption of the Black Peace Stone Nation. They talk about Jesse Jackson won this church from Mickey Caldwell. You know what I'm saying? They talks about it. But they didn't go off and say that Jesse Jackson had anything to do with Mickey Caldwell's death, because it was a lot surrounding Mickey Caldwell's death. You know what I'm saying? So now as to what D-Mac was saying, on the surface, on the outlook of it, it looked like Jesse Jackson was doing a whole lot for the communities. But if you dig deep down on the inside of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are both agent provocateurs. And this is a known fact. These are known documented facts. These are not just rumors. You know what I'm saying? Jesse got rich and Jesse became famous off the backs of our people. But at the same time, the CIA and the FBI and all these other alphabet agencies had him up under their foot. And he was working for them. That's why if you look at our communities today, around what Jesse Jackson had, Operation Push and all that over there, it was great where he was at. But if you look at anything else throughout the community, it was horrible. And it's the same dude that said he wanted to castrate Obama. He wanted to cut his balls off. That's what I have to say, D-Mac.
Well, everything that you said, is possibly true, and it may be factual, but a lot of that stuff that you were saying and what Black was saying was a lot of personal stuff. Now, that's some stuff that you have to do research on and everything, but the average person, the general person in the community, is not going deep into that and reading them books and all that type of stuff, or talking to people that was there when that stuff happened, because everything that I was hearing is like personal stuff with them people or organizations that they was about. But with Jesse Jackson and Operation Push and the things he have done for the community, the Black person, the United States, because we definitely can't forget that he went and freed a couple of people that was held hostage overseas. You know what I'm saying? So without the personal stuff, if I'm just a person or a father or a mother that's in the community, got a son that needs help, mentoring and all that, is nothing that I could say bad about Jesse unless I'm a part of organization or I'm looking into books that says that he's conniving, he did this to his brother, he did this to Mickey Caldwell, he was informant and all that. I wouldn't know that unless I did research. So what I see as a citizen of the community and all that is that him and his people did good for our people, Black people, period. So that's what I'm looking at. So all the stuff that he happened with his brother, with the Blackstones, with the informant stuff, that is totally true. That is totally true. It's documents and everything that support that. But I have to do research to find that out. But here I am, a person that lives on the block, my son doing criminal activity. He need help. He need mentoring and all this and that. My kids are hungry. We need food. We need somebody to talk to or whatever. He was there for the community. Now all the other personal stuff, yeah, he probably was crooked. He was crooked as hell. You know what I'm saying? But that was something that people like us are research and find out that he was dirty like that. But for the common American, he wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, so yeah, so to the average citizen, what have you, who don't do the research, you're right. I get that they wouldn't know that. They wouldn't be able to look a little bit closer and realize that though he went and got them Caucasian men on two different occasions. He didn't went and got them out of prisons overseas. But who he even got out of prison over here? He couldn't even get his own son out of prison or his daughter-in-law. He ain't got neither one of us out of prison. That's just one thing. But also on another level, it's like the opportunities that he take to help someone are grandiose opportunity that's going to get TV coverage and things of that nature. You understand? It's always a money thing, obviously. I still ain't heard nothing back from him since he went up to NASCAR and threatened them. Once it seemed to me, once they wrote the check, do we got office up there? That was the whole thing, that you put an office or some kind of administration up there of some people that look like us, because he was saying NASCAR was being racist, what have you. My point is, it seemed to me, whatever happened with that, it just went away. Ain't heard nothing else about it. And that's how we've been treated for the long part, bro. Everyone that seemed to say that they for us and everything, they have this cronyism kind of thing going on, or this favoritism. The closest get the most. You understand? But it don't trickle down to us in the hood. We don't see Jesse. I see Jesse. I ain't saying that he wasn't, maybe I couldn't have, but I ain't never seen Jesse personally. I always seen him on television with a sort of photo kind of, pardon me right quick. With
my thing with that is that who do we look up to? We look up to people that sing, that we see on TV, celebrities, all that type of stuff. So we look to see the leaders of the people that we see. We don't see me and you that our people could see. We see the people that's on TV. We see the people that's always seen and not heard. I mean, we see that. We see the just that. We see the Farrakhan. We see all that. We see everybody that we do. So we take heed to that. We take acknowledgement as that, okay, he must be for the community or the black community, because that's all we see on TV. And right now, ain't nobody reading no books or nothing like that. And they never was really reading no books or nothing. It's about what you see. And what you see is, what you were seeing was Jesse Jackson. You were seeing Farrakhan. You were seeing whoever. There's like, what you call it, Fred Hampton didn't get the praise and stuff that he's supposed to have got, because the internet and everything wasn't out there. So them type of things was like local stuff that people really didn't know about until later on. They said, oh, okay, we know about Fred Hampton now, where he was at when I was growing up. He wasn't there because we didn't see him. Same thing with the guy from the Nation of Islam. The time limit is over with now.
It's getting ready to go off.
Yeah, I see. But that's all I was trying to say, man. That's all I was trying to say.
That was a good discussion, man. Nobody was interrupting each other. I was typing. I don't know if y'all was seeing me type.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah. See, I was still conversating with y'all without saying anything. Take your mute off, Mo.
Yeah.
I said I seen every message, and those was good points you was pointing out. And I even like the advocate side of DMAC. You know what I mean? Again, you know, as DMAC was doing
What
that,
y'all
you know
finna
what I
do,
was
man?
thinking about, right?
What y'all
I was
finna do now?
thinking about,
What y'all finna do
I
now?
was thinking,
I ain't gonna
I
do
ain't
nothing.
got nothing to do. I just want to check on that lick I told y'all I was working on. And
Right.
as long as she's straight, I'm straight. But DMAC,
Y'all want to continue this here?
What'd you say?
Y'all want to continue this here now?
Yeah, we can.
Right now?
I don't care.
Yeah, we could do. Let me send y'all a different link. Let me send y'all another link, and we
Okay.
can find another topic. We just kicking it. You know what I'm saying?
Do it